Hello friend, hope you're having a great day today, and if you're not, I hope this video will lighten your heart. Today I'm making a cute starter home for a newlywed couple. I had this idea in mind for a while now, and I sat down and finally got it done. Before I dive into the story, please don't forget to comment down below what you'd like for me to build next, and please don't forget to subscribe since 90% of you, well, about 90% of you, watch my videos but aren't subscribed. So help a girl out. So moving into the story for the build, I imagined my Sims meeting up in college, and they both had very different career goals. They wanted very different things for themselves, but they ended up falling in love and things changed a little. One of the Sims wanted to become a chef, and they wanted their own restaurant, maybe even start like a franchise, or just make something, or just create a new dish for and have like their name associated to it. That's technically what I imagined for the Sim. And the other wanted to become a writer and start their own blog, and where they would talk about their writing habits and how they wanted to change the world. Maybe also this blog actually has tips on how they became a writer, or how they wrote their books and what inspired them, how they got into the writing world in specific. That is how I imagined these Sims to be. I wanted them to love each other, obviously, and the possibility of them having a career-based personality. So if they were to have kids, it would be mostly as an adult, and what I was envisioning is that when they actually did end up having their children, they would be turning almost into elders. Maybe there would be a little difference into it, and they would be turning into elders since they focused most of their lives actually in their careers before they decided to sit down and actually have their family. Right now you guys can see that I am currently messing with the roof of this house, because even though I kind of did something different, I still wasn't happy with how the roofing was since the beginning, and I messed a lot with it, as you guys could have seen. So I ended up just doing something a little bit simpler, a little bit more cozier, because I found that for smaller houses, well, this is for me, smaller houses, the more simpler the roof, the better it would be for your mental sake. And that's literally what I went with, where when I build bigger houses, I like to explore and have crazy ideas and even test crazy things with the bigger builds. So keeping it clean does go a long way. Right now, as you guys can see, I am just figuring out the rest of this build, and I did turn this into a tiny home tier 3 since I wanted to really have a small start. Like, I wanted them to have a small start, but I also didn't want them to stay in a 32 tile home. I would be so frustrated if I was living in a 32 tile home, and how do you move with 2 people in a 32 tile home? I don't know, but that is definitely what I did not want to do with this build. So I just made it into a bigger, well, it's still considered a tiny home, and it's still a small house, so they still have enough space to do the things they wanted to do. When it comes to the house in general, I do also move away from certain things, because I was planning on having an extra room in the beginning and literally having like a child or a teenager in the room, and I kind of decided later on that that wasn't what I wanted to do, because I sat down and thought about this couple's story, and it just turned into like the perfect partnership, and they are just perfect for each other, and since they're both career based, it would be more appropriate for them to have an office, and later on in life when their careers are like fulfilled and all their aspirations are fulfilled, then they start having children, and then they could even have a bigger home and turn that home into like their office into like another room, or they change homes and have more space for everything. When it comes to the landscaping, I wanted this to say it's new, it's cute, and yes, we've just arrived. And I think I did accomplish that with the landscaping. I did use a lot of debug plants since I wanted this to be affordable, and I wanted the Sims to have money after they purchased the lot. Since this is a tiny home, the taxes will be smaller than it normally is. And as you guys can see, I am literally landscaping the backyard. The backyard was actually very simple to do. I didn't want, since they all have like different aspirations, I decided to not go with the route that I normally do, which is add in some planters here and there. I actually just went very simple with the backyard. There is a grill, there is a place for them to sit. I normally do like to add like these little benches where the Sims can sit and read, because sometimes you just don't want to read in the house, you want to read somewhere else, and that's technically how I saw the Sim having their day-to-day. Like maybe they have a little writer's block and they don't want to stay in the office or stay in the house, so they could either go for a walk or they could just go to their backyard, which is in a beautiful open space, and they can just sit down and read. Here I am currently going into the home and deciding how I am going to furnish and also place everything down. Since this is a tiny home, I didn't have like a lot of room to put like a hallway, and I didn't really want to put like a one tile hallway because I'm getting horror movie and claustrophobic vibes just by thinking of a one tile hallway. Two tiles, yes. One tile, never. So that's technically how I ended up cleaning this entire house. Here I'm just working on the bathroom and deciding where I'm gonna put things, and I did add 2 hampers because it's 2 Sims and eventually the clothes will load up if you only have 1 hamper, and I didn't want to have like clothes thrown on like on the floor, so I decided to add 2 hampers because then if one is filled up, then they can just go, they wash it, they put the clothes to dry, and the other one is still filling up, so it always helps. When it comes to the kitchen, I did make it very cozy, very cozy. I didn't use the normal fridge that I love using, which is the Cottage Living fridge, because it was a bit too expensive, and I did want to make this 100% a starter home. I know I could have put it, but I didn't want it to be too expensive because I do have other things that kind of made this house. It's not too expensive, it's still on the price range for a couple, but I still wanted it to have the vibes that I was going for. So I kind of went in with one of those old fridges that we get in the game, and I just made everything white so it didn't look that bad, but in the end it actually looks very pretty. Unfortunately, the Sims will eventually complain that if you don't change the fridge for a while, they do end up complaining that it gives out like a really bad old fridge smell, and it could get a bit weird and annoying for that. Thing did go as perfectly as ever. Here I am simply just trying to get my lovely little cloth on the side of the cupboard, well, the counter. I don't know why I confuse cupboard counter, but yes, I tried to do that, and I did find a better way to do that. I don't really do it on this video, but I do it on another video, which is actually simpler. It just involves removing the wall, adding it where you want it, bring forth the counter, add the wall back, push the counter in its place, and everything is done. So like there is a simpler way for me to do that, so I don't have to use the mod tool all the time. I did add a little living area for them because I thought it would be cuter. Now that I think about it, I think I could have made the kitchen a little bit bigger, since one of the Sims will probably be literally having a bit of a more cooking style, but I think the kitchen was big enough for them to do that, since I did have a lot of counter space for them to actually go along with that. Here you guys can see, as I said before, that I was decorating this to be like another room, but then I decided to change it, and I also decided to add the office in front and the bedroom in the back because it was giving me weird vibes. I don't really like to add bedrooms in the front of the house. I don't know, I think it's like very invasion of privacy to have like the first bedroom you see when you walk in the house. Like there's a door to the bedroom, maybe if there was something else in the way and then the second room was like a bedroom, I'm okay with that, but right in front with a window right when you walk in, I kind of don't really like that. So I kind of stayed with this idea and this aesthetic that I like, which is making the office in front and then having the bedroom there. But if you want to turn things around and add the bedroom in front and the office in the back, you guys can definitely do that as well, because this is just something that I normally like to do. Here I'm just finishing up this and choosing some curtains. I did choose the Cottage Living curtains, but I do end up changing it afterwards, especially in the other rooms like I'm doing right now, because I didn't really vibe so much with these curtains, and I just took like base game curtains and added them to the rest of the house just to make it a little bit more living. And I did realize that I managed to clutter up this house pretty much, especially the office for the writer. I really wanted to give her or him, but though I did think of two girls, yeah, definitely, but I did want to give them like a more cozy computer, especially the one that looks like a typewriter, but I think that would escalate the price of the house, so I kind of decided to change that. And right now I'm just changing the lights for the house just to make it a little bit more lived in, and it didn't have those little lights that we get, which is actually better than half of the lights in the games. But you know, it's The Sims. What can you do? It's The Sims. And the lighting conditions as well for normal gameplay. Here I'm just adding some last minute details to this build, and this is practically it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys had fun with this build. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on Thursday for another speed build. And I hope you guys have a great day, week, month, year, whenever you're watching this. Have a great one, guys. Bye.